in this webinar, I will talk about the research that we have in Indonesia about whale shark satellite telemetry program, and then how this data can inform better management for transboundary in regard that whale shark is highly migratory species. So before I begin with detail about a lot of things in what we have in Indonesia, we'd like to introduce whale shark. Yeah, if there's not many people know about the biology and ecology of the whale shark itself. So they are cosmopolitan species. They are distributed globally, yeah, in a tropical and warm water, except in Mediterranean Sea, yeah, and then they are the largest fish species in the world. They are the size, yeah, the length, they can be up to 18 meters, yeah, and then most of whale shark we see, yeah, in Indonesia only like 6 or 7 meters, but actually they can grow up until 18 meters, and then they're capable to migrate over 15,000 kilometers. Yeah, they are doing trans-oceanic movement, passing several countries and etc. So that's why it's really important to collaborate each country. And then they also can dive up to 2,000 meters. So they are really have that flexibility in terms of vertical movement and horizontal movement. And in ecological function, they are also known as umbrella species. So when we are protecting the critical habitat for the whale shark, yeah, because they are need large size, yeah, to move, to doing what they need for feeding, for nursery, for cleaning, and etc. So that's why we also can use the corridor or the critical habitat for protecting other critical ecosystem like coral reef, yeah, and then also maybe seamount if that's in the pelagic area, and also many species that also associated with their habitat. So in the life cycles, yeah, so whale shark actually have different habitat, yeah, for life stage, and also sexuals, yeah. So what we know based on study across the globe, yeah, many juvenile male whale shark aggregate in the coastal area. So that's why like in coastal area, there's a male bias sex composition, yeah, where male dominate the juvenile male dominate the population. Same like Indonesia, Philippines, and other countries. So that's the composition, yeah, because they are need very rich water to grow, yeah. So that's why juvenile male aggregate in coastal area. And different life stage, yeah, when they are growing adult, they are moving to oceanic habitat, yeah, pelagic habitat. So that's why in Galapagos or in the Australian offshore water, there's so many adult, yeah. And then for the female, most of them aggregate in deep water, yeah, living in deep water, linking with the seamount, canyon, and other geomorphic feature. And then for the juvenile male, sometimes they are going to the coastal area, like semi-closed bay to seek for protection, yeah, like what we see and also in Saleh Bay, one of our sites. So because whale sharks are highly mobile species, yeah, they are vulnerable to various threats along their migration route. So this is one of key challenge in managing or conserving whale shark, yeah. We know several threats that they could face in their migration route or habitat they are living. Fisheries, yeah, both targeted and bycatch. This is still also exists, yeah, in the some area of Indonesia that many fisheries overlap with the habitat of whale shark, and sometimes they being caught by net. And then ship collision, yeah, many migration route of whale shark overlap with transportation with maritime traffic, yeah, and we have several evidence that they are have collision with the vessel, yeah, like we see in Jayapura in Papua, that the public transportation, yeah, the big ship we call Pelni also strike the whale shark. And also irresponsible tourism, yeah, that our previous speaker also mentioned, that because a lot of interest from public, but they not have that good information how to interact with the whale shark, and then they are uh, being too close or sometimes touch the whale shark, and too many people sometimes in the same time when they are interact the whale shark. And then marine pollution, because they are filter feeding, they are filtering a lot of water to filtering the plankton, krill, or small fish, but also in the same time, there's a lot of plastic, for example, like in the feeding aggregation area. So there's also the threat for them. And then to last threat that we know, oil and gas, when they are have leaking, and then there's a pollute the habitat, and also climate change that last year's study identified that actually the habitat shifting because the climate change will threaten them to area with high density of marine traffic. So that's why the high risk of ship collision with whale shark would be increased. And because of that, 50% of the global population of whale shark in endangered status, yeah, specifically in Indo-Pacific, including Indonesia, Philippines, it is already 63%. So the actual number of actually in our subpopulation is higher than global. But the IUCN Green Assessment, the population recovery of whale shark is very possible in next 100 years, but we need to have a strategic conservation effort for whale shark. And then actually in the past 5 years, one of the threat for the whale shark is trending in Indonesia. There's a lot of report about the whale shark stranding. So this has become the potential disruption for the population recovery in the region. So what we do, yeah, how we can protect the species, yeah, science is key. Yeah, we believe we always work based on science in Konservasi Indonesia, especially to understand these highly migratory species, because when we understand about where they aggregate, yeah, where they move and when, and especially how long they can stay in the one place is very key, yeah, to have the strategic location for the intervention. So we put a lot of effort in science, especially for the satellite telemetry program. We already deploy around 80 satellite tag to 80 individual for whale shark, and we already have the migration corridor, the habitat use that I will talk in the next slide. So this is the compilation of the migration corridor, yeah, in the globally, yeah. We work with whale shark scientists around the world to put this map, and we see that whale shark is very mobile, yeah, connected with several countries. So that's why transboundary management is very important, especially to protect, for example, whale shark population in Australia, when maybe in Australia have a good protection in Ningaloo, but suddenly when they are moved to South Java, for example, the area where there's a lot of stranding event, so probably the whale shark, Australian whale shark population also be impacted. So how actually Indonesia and Australia, for example, strengthen the management, yeah, for this one. So this is several fact that we declare. Yeah. This is the example. I talked previously about the corridor and stranding, for example. So when we see the whale shark population, that move, whale shark from Australia and Christmas Island move to South Java Sea. This area is also a stranding hotspot, for the whale shark. So we need to strengthen the management, because, for example, to understand the impact, we don't have the database ID for the whale shark that we identify stranded in South Java. So probably that's not from our population in Indonesia, probably from Australia or other countries. So regional database is very important, especially to identify some some whale shark that they die in Indonesia. And this is other example how actually the satellite telemetry program that we have can identify the potential whale shark ship collision in the region. So this is the animation how our whale shark move in the region from Cendrawasih Bay, from Kaimana, from Lesser Sunda Seascape. And then suddenly some of the whale shark overlap with the area with high marine traffic, the color that lighter. And we see that potentially the whale shark that stop transmitting, the satellite tag that stop transmitting in the high maritime traffic probably have collision with the ship because the final track is in dense shipping lane, and also show the diving profile very slow until 1,500 meter. So we think this is the whale shark that die sinking in the ocean. So this is some evidence that this is the whale shark that we take in Indonesia, but they move to another country, and then we need to work together how actually to minimize or mitigate this whale shark collision effort, integrate across country. This is a study that published last year about identify priority site for whale shark ship collision. There are some simulation how we can mitigate the whale shark ship collision, and several recommendations is we need to establish, for example, vessel slow zone in the area with high overlapping or high risk between vessel and whale shark that overlap. And another case is rerouting shipping lane away from critical habitat, maybe like rerouting 5 degree or 10 degree of the ship. We can avoid that overlap between whale shark movement or whale shark aggregation in that area with high risk with vessel collision. Seasonal approach also very applicable, because whale shark aggregate seasonally in several places, because, for example, responding the upwelling season in the area, because increasing the food availability. So we can also identify that the area have seasonal aggregation to avoid by vessel for the transportation route. And also technological solution like satellite telemetry that can provide near real-time data. We can see the movement of the whale shark in the region, so we can also provide early warning system, for example, to the captain or the industry. And also multi-sector collaboration is also important. Is it not about scientists providing the data, but also how we working with government, the regulator, working with the industry to sit together to put the mitigation strategy in implement the strategy in their business process. So we initiate the discussion about the migratory management collaboration in seascape level. This is our activity few months ago, in Dili. This is part of SOMACORE project. So Indonesia team and Timor-Leste team sit together to identify data existing, the gap, and then what is the challenges, how we can working together to have same roadmap, same strategy for conserve the species, yeah, including research component, management, and also how we can finance the activity in the next few years. So this is this local scale, yeah. Before I talk about the regional or the broad scale approach, from our telemetry study also we can have information about where the area that's strategized, that's very strategic, yeah, for whale shark conservation. So with the telemetry data, we can identify, for example, the habitat use of the individual. So we can also assess how many time, yeah, the individual visit the place, yeah. So we have that information, for example, high revisitation of the area that visit by several times by the individual or the population. So we identify, for example, here is Cendrawasih Bay that have high revisitation, and also Saleh Bay. So instead of we only working in the large scale approach like seascape or regional, yeah. I mean, this is very good to addressing like whale shark seed coalition, or how we can make the MPN network in it, and it's etc. But for the grassroots level, for example, how we can uh, protect the critical habitat, working with the community, we can use this information to identify the strategic location, because this area is very important, especially if the young whale shark stay in the place for many years. Yeah, so when we protecting the whale shark in the local level, we can make sure when they protected, they can grow, and then when they migrate to another habitat from different life stage, yeah, they can reproduce or support the recovery of the regional population, for example. So this is how we think globally and act locally. Yeah. For example, here, yeah, I back to the previous map that we see in the global scale of the whale shark movement. We know that the population in Indo-Pacific already declined, for example, 63%. But when we're protecting the critical habitat of Saleh Bay, yeah, including the area where they are feeding, yeah, nursery, migrating, and year-round aggregation, and also one of the global hotspot for the habitat use, we can contribute to the population recovery effort in the regional level. So this is very important. We're working in the strategic location, especially this area also has been recognized by IUCN Shark Specialist Group as an important shark entry area. So we initiate the assessment in 2017, yeah. More detail about the Saleh Bay. We discovered the interaction of leaf net fishery with the whale shark, because the leaf net fishery using light, operated during the night, and then they are attract a lot of small fish, krill. We also that fish, yeah, those fish is food source for the whale shark. So whale shark also come into the platform, and then with that interaction actually allowing us scientists to study more detail about the behavior, deploying the satellite tagging, for example, for the whale shark. So we have that opportunity, so that's why we can very easy to observe the whale shark, collecting the photo ID for identification, for population estimate, and etc. And then actually this interaction can open the opportunity for the economic, yeah, through ecotourism. So we helped the government in 2018 to launching the whale shark tourism in Saleh Bay. And in only 1 year, yeah, in 2019, actually the tourism is already generated or providing benefit for local community. So this is several community intervention that we support, yeah, in the grassroots. We also developing whale shark time dance performance, yeah, with the local community. This is part of performance art that a community can also provide, yeah, as attraction. make a souvenir, yeah, and also training the guide, certify them to have a proper, yeah, for guiding. So since 2018, we launched the whale shark ecotourism until 2022, yeah. Actually, the community awareness is increased, yeah. Before they are see the whale shark is something not benefiting for them, and sometimes upset because they are stealing fish from the net, and sometimes they need to break the net because they being trapped, yeah, in the net. So now the community feel that whale shark is very uh, benefit, yeah, for them. So as a new alternative of economy. So now the relationship is changed, yeah. The behavior is changed, yeah, in the community to how they see whale shark as something that need to be managed, conserved, and also a benefit for the economy as well. So for now, yeah, what we see, the economic value of whale shark tourism itself, annually there's a 3,000 visitor, yeah, coming to Saleh Bay to see whale shark, and now grow, yeah. I heard from last meeting, yeah, actually the visitor is already 6,000, yeah, in this year. So this is very good, yeah, for the development. But also, we need to be careful in the same time how we can manage the tourism, especially to make sure they are not become mass tourism. There are at least 50 service provider, including car rental, accommodation, guide, operator, and rentaling booth, and etc. So there's opening a job for the community. Around 700 until 1,000 individuals involved in this whale shark ecotourism, and we assess that economic surplus annually for the whale shark tourism is 50,000 a. But we also found a challenge, yeah, from our data again, yeah, from the satellite telemetry, we see that most of whale shark in Saleh Bay is aggregate or interact with the tourism outside the existing marine protected area. So when we see, yeah, this the polygon here is existing MPA, but the whale shark, the hotspot, the more darker orange, yeah, is outside the existing MPA. So how we can manage the whale shark ecotourism if they outside existing MPA? Because yeah, government will always prioritize the MPA for the management, and then sometimes they also facing difficulty, yeah, in naturally buy fuel and etc. because they didn't have the money because the MPA just set up but didn't have sustainable financing mechanism. So that's why we are thinking how we if we create the MPA for the whale shark especially, and then we can create the entrance fee. We can also manage the whale shark, so the government also can receive that the money from the entrance fee to buy fuel, provide staff in the ground to manage the whale shark. So that's how we think it can work, yeah. Because another conservation issue we saw, yeah, for example, here there's a lot of boat in the same in the one bagan. Bagan is a live net fishing boat where whale shark sighting. So when we need to when the tourism growing, we also need to think how we put enforcement or put surveillance in this interaction. Yeah, if the government don't have the money, we need to create that mechanism as I mentioned before. So we coming with the idea for the second pass, yeah, to protect and conserve the critical habitat of whale shark through creating the first whale shark-based MPA in Saleh Bay. So this is the first MPA that dedicated for whale sharks, yeah, since beginning, since we designed the MPA, because a lot of MPA is designed for like coastal ecosystem in Indonesia, like for coral reef, mangrove, seagull, or reef fish, yeah, not even think about the critical species like whale shark. So we designed that very specific for whale shark in Saleh Bay. And this project thinking also about how we design the MPA for a species. Yeah, so we work with the government to create the criteria, yeah, for species-based MPA, because this is also aligned with the global commitment 30 by 30. So the government also buy in. So now the MPA in Indonesia will develop based on thematic. There's for species, there's for blue carbon, fisheries, for example, and also biodiversity in general. So we have that a guideline now, and Salebe is become a pilot, yeah. So on how we create a protected area for species. So we also would like to confirm is the concept of umbrella species is works. So we need to see, is it when we developing whale shark based MPA in Saleh Bay, is it also protecting the others biodiversity feature in the bay? So we conduct an expedition, yeah, that also funded by SOMACORE last year to really understand the what we have in Saleh Bay, and understanding how we can protect and or we can use whale shark as umbrella for protecting the biodiversity of the bay itself. So we conduct the expedition last year to identify the critical habitat of many species, including we found that this is confirmed nursery area first, yeah, in Indonesia, that we record 80 centimeter of whale shark. So this area is really important for the whale shark, because not only for the young whale shark that we found generally like 6 meter, but also we found the baby, yeah, in the bay. So we see this is the area for proposing the whale shark based MPA. But when we collecting a lot of data, yeah, last year about the biodiversity feature, we also see that a lot of shark actually have more abundance in our proposed MPA rather than in existing MPA. So this is also become a good sign that when we protecting the whale shark, we also protecting other predator, yeah, in the bay itself, including, for example, biodiversity of reef fish and also coral. A lot of reef fish that have a diverse in place, yeah, also being protected. And also another conservation feature is spawning aggregation, yeah, for grouper and snapper in this place. So when we protecting the whale shark in this area, we also protecting the spawning aggregation site for snapper and grouper, which is good for local sustainable fisheries. Yeah. So what we think about how when we create the protected area for whale shark, how this can benefit MPA authority, because they need money, for example, to running the MPA. It's only make a lot of MPA, but not clear how they can operate operate that. So we conduct a study on willingness to pay and willingness to accept to see a potential revenue from, for example, entrance fee for whale shark tourism, and the domestic or international tourists agree to pay some money for whale shark watching, for example. So the MPA authority can use that revenue, yeah, to fund the management of MPA itself. So now we see that potential revenue is around 100K annually for the local authority to use that money for managing the MPA. So I think this is a good scheme that we can also adopt. We learned this based on also our experience in Raja Ampat with the entrance fee, and that works, yeah, how Raja Ampat can manage the protected area by themselves, yeah, with not depend on the government budget. So we also do the cost benefit analysis, for example, do the simulation. If, yeah, the whale shark in Saleh Bay not protected, we allow more tourism. There's not regulation there. The potential of whale shark also potentially lost, yeah, because many whale shark not convert again in the bay, and then maybe they leave, yeah, and also the bay ecosystem also destroy, disturb, and how if we protect the habitat, put a management effort for managing the habitat, population, and also the ecotourism itself. So maybe the whale shark will more convert in the bay, and also the potential benefit for the community, for the MPA authority also can increase. So we also use this calculation to help the government make a decision on how they proceed with the MPA for whale shark in the bay. The enabling condition also with we did in Saleh Bay. We create the first learning center of whale shark in the village, where the tourists are coming. So with this learning center we have in Saleh Bay, we hope as a activity hub, and also for the education for the local community, and also for the tourists, to learn about the whale shark, learn about the journey we have in the bay, since 2017 until now, what information we have about the whale shark in the bay. So all information, they can have in this learning center. So I think this is very good also as a lesson learned, how we have this to as a platform, not only for the tourists, but also for the local community being engaged, and also proud about whale shark conservation effort that we have in the ground. And also we create the Kawan Teluk Saleh. Kawan means friend, friend of Teluk Saleh. This is a community youth group that we create to support the whale shark conservation effort in the ground, and also we have create the whale shark based MPA module. This is like an educational module about the whale shark biology, about the marine protected area, about the whale shark MPA itself. So this has become a guidance, for the learning center guide to provide information about whale shark conservation. So at the end, in my final slide, regional cooperation is very important, especially to address broad scale issue, that we need to address across country regarding the migration corridor and the threat they're facing in the corridors. But some important aspect also involve the local level. As I mentioned, protecting the critical habitat is very important, and science is really key to support that decision in where the area that should be protected. I think that's all from my. Thank you.